Gentlemen, welcome back to more Universe Mode on the JPG channel, and welcome back to part 2 of Backlash, live from Lyon, France. And we are getting ready for some tag team action. Indeed, DIY, the tag team champions over on the Raw side, the world tag team champions, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, getting ready to head into war against a team that they will be all but too familiar with as of these recent months, and that is the Motor City Machine Guns, Sabin and Shelley. Of course, documented history with Gargano himself, but also, as I said, when it comes to when referring to the tag team division, DIY and MCMG, they have had their fair share of run-ins in the past, never with gold on the line while DIY were champions. At one point, DIY did try to take those titles off of Motor City Machine Guns last season in Universe Mode. Unsuccessful attempt that time. And now they're looking to right their wrongs from the last time these two teams met up in tag team action. Of course, with the Motor City Machine Guns walking away with a victory that day. DIY looks to rectify that here tonight in Lyon, France. We saw DIY attack these two men, Sabin and Shelley, after their tag team win this past Monday night. So you have to believe that Sabin and Shelley both have a bit of a score to settle here tonight. Got a little bit of a vendetta against DIY heading into this match. But needless to say, this is a big fight feel, and we have a big crowd for this very match. Not to mention the other matches still to come, folks. Directly after this match, we will be seeing the very first ever Women's United States Champion being crowned, and that is going to be contested with the likes of Giulia, a woman that has just recently graced us with her presence. The Beautiful Madness, just in her second match here in WWE, has a chance to be in the record books already, create history for herself by winning the Women's United States Championship. But the woman that opposes her here tonight, a woman that has been on the horizon for quite some time now, a woman that had an absolute banger with Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Of course, I'm talking about the Princess of Friday Night SmackDown, the center of the universe, Tiffany Stratton. It will be Stratton, it'll be Giulia, the Women's United States Championship little tournament that we had going on, finals here tonight in France. That should be one hell of a match. I know both of those ladies are going to be looking to put it all on the line to walk out as a history maker. Before we get into that, folks, we got to get into some real Tag Team 101. Tag Team 101 type feel here between Gargano and Ciampa and Sabin and Shelley. This is a dream match anywhere around the world, no matter how many times you see it. Two teams that revolutionized modern day tag team wrestling. Hell, you could say that DIY even probably bit a little bit off of Motor City Machine Guns playbook when they were coming up down in NXT. Gargano has been on record before saying how much of an inspiration Shelley and Sabin has been to him as a performer. And now apparently that's all out the window, because obviously DIY are they're not exactly the lovable tag team that they once were down in NXT, or when they were facing the Usos 2 seasons ago here on Universe Mode. They're a bit of a bitter and angry version of DIY up until WrestleMania, when they won those tag team championships back. But they were sick and tired of teams like Sabin and Shelley and Penta and Ray Phoenix, for example. These new teams that were, in DIY's mind, stealing all the spotlight away from them. And, well, we see where the spotlight's on now, right back on DIY, but we're going to get into calling some action after telling you as to the why we are here. Nice snap suplex by Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa going for the first tag in this match, and he will tag in Johnny Gargano. Sabin to Shelley likewise. And now look at this. Former mentor versus the former apprentice, if you will, and Johnny Gargano. You know, Gargano doesn't just credit Shelley and Sabin with helping him be inspired to even wrestle in general or his style in the ring. Shelley, in his time, has actually taught Gargano a thing or two, including his very own finishing maneuver, the Gargano escape. And now look at this. Nice catch by Alex Shelley. Oh my goodness. Face first goes Gargano. And Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin are in the driver's seat in the early goings of this match. Not what DIY wants to happen. You do not want a team like the Guns building momentum, because they are going to take that momentum and take it all the way to the mountaintop. We've seen it before. Sabin and Shelley were tag team champions before. As a matter of fact, they beat the former team of Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson back then as the Blackpool Combat Club. Two men who we haven't seen in Universe mode in quite some time. But it was really the downfall of the Blackpool Combat Club after losing to these two gentlemen right here, Motor City Machine Guns, and Gargano and Ciampa are finding exactly just how frustrated the Blackpool Combat Club were when the Motor City Machine Guns made their debut in all places of Detroit, Michigan last year at SummerSlam. Speaking of SummerSlam, we are on now the horizon to SummerSlam. As a nice tilt-a-whirl head scissors by. I know, look at that. Gargano answers it with a Hurricane Rana. I say we are on the horizon just a little bit to SummerSlam. I mean, I'm not gonna get ahead of myself here. We still have a few events coming up. Of course, Money in the Bank. We have Night of Champions still to come. We have the King of the Ring tournament that will culminate at Night of Champions, whereas the winners of the men's and women's King of the Ring will fight for the top championship on their brand in one of the either co-main events or just the main event of SummerSlam. A nice suicide dive by Alex Shelley. So we still have a long ways to go before SummerSlam, but my point being is that Motor City Machine Guns have a chance to walk into SummerSlam the same way they walked out of SummerSlam last year as the tag team champions. Meanwhile, Chris Sabin looks to take to the skies. Back-to-back suicide dives from Sabin and Shelley, and you can see Chris Sabin just trying to will this crowd out and keep them alive. They've seen one hell of a first part of Backlash with that United States Championship match and the men's division, and of course Breakker and Sheamus for the Intercontinental. Look at this, Sabin soaring through the air with a springboard DDT, and that's going to warrant the tag to Tommaso Ciampa. Gargano said, "I've had enough." Ciampa looks to get his pound of flesh, and now Ciampa able to telegraph a little bit of Sabin's moveset here as he sends Sabin's face first into the turnbuckle, and now Tommaso Ciampa just rubbing that boot into the face of Chris Sabin. There's nothing too pretty about Tommaso Ciampa's offense, but it certainly is effective. And effective enough to become NXT champion, NXT tag team champion, and, well, now the world tag team champions here on the main roster. Ciampa has made a nice living for himself in these last few years. As I look at this, Gargano is just not playing fair right now. Just cheap shot after cheap shot to Sabin in the back of his head. How is he even supposed to be able to defend himself? Got to have eyes on the back of his head, apparently looking at Gargano. As now Gargano gets back into the ring after a short breather. Goes right after the arm of Chris Sabin. Now it's Gargano trying to fire this crowd up. And another tag incoming. No, Sabin. Nice reversal out of trying to get out of literal harm's way and out of the corner of DIY, but you're talking about one of the best tag teams in the world today, and the thing to prove it is them being the world tag team champions heading into this show. As I look at this, we're about to see a little bit of classic DIY here. Gargano and Ciampa lining them up. Enziguri knee strike combination, not done there just yet. Hooks in for the Northern Lights. Ciampa goes for the cover, beautifully executed bridge, and Sabin's able to pop the shoulder. Tremendous stuff out of both of these guys. Both of these teams, I should say. All four of these guys, if I was going to go that route. In the early goings here. Look at this. Sabin went for something there, but Ciampa had it scouted. Sabin was looking to take Ciampa's head clean off his shoulders. Or maybe make him have to shave his beard again. And now Sabin is trying to fight back here. It's been quite some time since Sabin has made a tag to his much fresher partner at this point in Shelley. Look at this. We saw that DDT from Sabin earlier. Now Ciampa gets one. And look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. Whether you love him or you hate him, Tommaso Ciampa is a strategist. He's an intelligent individual when it comes to professional wrestling. You saw that right there. Intelligent when it comes to tag team wrestling too, able to isolate the ring. Take Alex Shelley out of the equation to prevent this very thing from happening, and that is not only Motor City Machine Guns coming in with lightning fast offense, my God, what a combination, but also effectively giving themselves the momentum into this match now, but Ciampa comes back real quick with some smacks to the face, a knee to the face, and now a hell of a discus lariat. Discus lariat connects. Shelley gets that shoulder out at one, though. Still a ton of fight in the guns. It has taken Shelley and Sabin almost their entire career to make it here, to make it to the brightest lights of WWE. TNA legends, TNA tag team legends. You could also argue ROH legends maybe as well. Who could forget their legendary feuds with, of course, the Young Bucks and the Briscoes. R.I.P. Jay Briscoe, of course. Them boys. One of my favorite tag teams to watch down in ROH next to the Motor City Machine Guns. And now look at this, another discus lariat. Ciampa has been able to articulate, if I can use that word correctly, what the guns are going to do before they can even pull him off. And now look at this, Project Ciampa, knees to the back out of the powerbomb standing form. And now Ciampa lying in wait here. Is a huge strike right to the face, kick to the stomach. Ciampa is all over Shelley. Shelley is literally inches away from Chris Sabin, but he's too occupied with getting the crap beaten out of him to even try and make the tag. And now Tommaso Ciampa realizes exactly what Shelley was trying to go for. My God, he just rung the bell of Chris Sabin with a Willow's bell. DDT. Ciampa just spikes Sabin right on his... This could be it right here, folks. Sabin's out. But Ciampa opts to go for the tag instead. I don't know if I exactly agree. I mean, it looked like Ciampa might have had Shelley down to rights there. And now, wait a minute. Now Gargano lining up for something. Here's a suicide dive for you. He had to take two of them earlier. And now he gets his revenge. And now Gargano's not done there just yet. He's gearing up for something here. Look out. Goes for a springboard crossbody. Might have gotten a little too flashy for his own liking. But nonetheless, Gargano able to come back into this one with a super kick right to the chin of Alex Shelley. This match is starting to slowly heat up here. Look at this. Now there's a discus lariat from Gargano. Man, there's some live rounds being thrown on DIY's side. If I'm Motor City Machine Guns, I'm looking to turn up the intensity a little bit. As you can see, DIY has certainly done that. Oh my goodness, a one final beat on the apron. You have got to be kidding me. That man needs to go home to his family, needs to go home eventually. He can't, his soul can't die here in Lyon, France. What the hell are you doing? Spiking his head on the canvas. And now Gargano with a double foot stomp of Chris Sabin. Another example of DIY able to just slowly but surely not only dissect the guns, but also isolate them, keep them away from each other. This is beautiful stuff. Wait, oh, Gargano might have made a mistake right there. Gargano might have made a mistake right there. He accidentally speared right through the midsection of Chad Patton. And now Gargano's like, screw it. He's got the Gargano escape locked in. Alex Shelley's in a world of trouble, but there's no referee. Sabin breaks it up nonetheless. And now all hell's about to break loose as Ciampa now looking to take out Chris Sabin with a drop kick. Now Alex Shelley finds himself in a 2-on-1 scenario. Pack of dogs mentality from DIY. Big kick right to the face, or excuse me, to the back of the head. Let me learn my anatomy real quick. And now Gargano was going for something there. I think he was going for a little bit of a springboard maneuver, but Shelley was able to escape it. Back and forth these two go. And now Gargano, what has Gargano got planned here? Tags in Ciampa once again. Up and over with a drop kick. This is some beautiful tag team wrestling from all four of these individuals. Although I would say DIY has certainly been probably a little bit more impressive with their ability to keep the Guns at bay. But that might be it right there. Chris Sabin just took a page out of Ciampa's own playbook and planted him with the Psycho Driver. Fairy tale ending, Psycho Driver, whatever you want to call it. And now Gargano lines him up with a tilt-a-whirl facebuster. A tilt-a-whirl facebuster from Gargano. And they're not playing fair anymore. They haven't been playing fair for a majority of this match. Gargano just ripped Shelley off the apron. And now, wait a minute, Chris Sabin's looking to line up for something here. A big elbow strike right to the face of Ciampa. You got to credit Sabin and Shelley trying to stay in it. Sabin now has had enough of Gargano's antics, wipes him out with another suicide dive. Suicide dives galore in this match, folks, and what the hell do you expect when these four are on the card? And now Chris Sabin looking to keep that momentum going here. Goes for a big move, but Ciampa again. It's been Ciampa with the playbook in this match. He has reversed almost anything that Sabin and Shelley has had to throw at him. Ciampa's looking like his former self in there, looking at his peak version of the Sicilian psychopath as Sabin misses wildly with a tope over the ropes. Might have tripped a little bit on the ropes, but he looks to collect himself and put Ciampa in a triangle choke. Not exactly submission-based offense that we usually see out of Motor City Machine Guns. Perhaps just a slight bit of a form of desperation on the side of the Guns, and how could you not if DIY continues to have all the answers for Shelley and Sabin's offense here. Nice neck breaker by Ciampa, goes for the cover again. Chris Sabin's going to need a big kick out, and he gets it. This crowd is in for a treat with this one, folks. It's already been a hell of a match. I can already tell that these four have a lot more in the tank. These two teams have a lot more in the tank, and they're going to give it to you right here. Shotgun drop kick into the corner. Chris Sabin now lining Ciampa up for something here. Look out. Oh, a nice springboard crossbody. Springboard crossbody connects, and now it's Gargano. Oh, look at Gargano. Gargano trying to plead with Chris Sabin. Sabin's not going to have any of it. Nice reversal of the Irish whip, and there's that kick he was going for Ciampa earlier. This time he clears Gargano's head off his shoulders. That could have been it if Ciampa didn't make the save. I'm willing to bet it would have been it, as a matter of fact. That was a absolutely gnarly kick to watch. And now, wait a minute. This is not good for Gargano. Spins him around into the cradle shock. Cradle shock connects for the championships, but Gargano gets the shoulder out. Chris Sabin cannot believe it. Referee Chad Patton is looking at him like, I don't know, man. You're going to have to hit him with something better than that, I guess. And Sabin said, all right, watch this. Now it's Chris Sabin tagging in Alex Shelley here. Now we're starting to see that beautiful tag team tandem of the Guns. This time to get Gargano in this chain of offense. This lightning quick chain of offense we saw earlier. This time it's Gargano suffering the fate, though, as Alex Shelley's top rope, nice frog splash, clears half the ring. Beautiful distance there, but Gargano still gets the shoulder out. Oh, no, wait a minute. Shelley's not done there just yet. Shelley's looking to humiliate Gargano and make him submit with the very move that he taught him, the Gargano escape. The very submission that Gargano put him in at WrestleMania to win the championships. And I don't know Gargano, though, if there's anybody that knows how to escape the Gargano's escape. I'm sure it was Johnny Gargano, as a huge lariat brings DIY back into this one. And now chops and punches to the face, all landing where they need to. My God, what a poison Rana. And Gargano is crazy. Gargano just hit a poison Rana and just flew out of the skies with a suicide dive. And he's not done there just yet. Hit one earlier on Shelley. Now he's going to go for Sabin. My God, another one final beat right on the apron. Shelley and Chris Sabin are not the young kids that they used to be in TNA back in 2010. They are seasoned veterans, and they cannot be taking bumps on their heads like that on the apron. Gargano could give a damn, though, as he continues the offense here with a rope-assisted flatliner-esque maneuver. That time, Gargano's still not done, looking to put the nail in the coffin in this one. Look out, here comes Gargano through the ropes with a suicide dive into a DDT. And Gargano takes a minute to admire his work. What a sequence between Gargano and the two Motor City Machine Guns. Gargano might have just put this thing to bed right here and right now as he lines up for a super kick, gets every last bit of it. Shelley's looking at the lights. Sabin has to make the save. And Gargano's seen enough now. Big DDT. Man, where the hell did that come from? Gargano just house of fire in that instance. Goes for the double foot stomp. Shelley with a nice crucifix pin. Could get Gargano right here. Championship's on the line. Remember that. That was a little too close for comfort if I'm Johnny Gargano or if I'm Tommaso Ciampa watching outside the ring. And now Alex Shelley, I don't know how the hell Shelley or Sabin is even up after both taking a one final beat on the apron. And now, wait a minute, Shelley's looking to get his receipt. Nice slice bread out of the corner. Slice bread, a rope-assisted slice bread, technically. And now, wait a minute, now once again, it is the Guns in full control. I was going to say in full control, but Ciampa again, demonstrating that he has all the answers here tonight for Sabin and Shelley, but Sabin might have found an answer for Ciampa. We have seen so many suicide dives in this match. I still don't know what to say. And now Sabin goes for that DDT once again. It was effective last time. It's even more effective this time, given the fact that Gargano's beating the hell up. And now, wait a minute, we could be going for the kill right here and right now. Yes, indeed, the skull and crossbones. The skull and crossbones connects, goes for the cover, gets the 2.5. Gargano makes the save for his team by peeling that shoulder off the mat. Tag team wrestling at its finest. And ladies and gentlemen, I say it time and time again as we hit as Sabin hits a nice springboard splash out to the outside. I say it time and time again how much of a staple tag team wrestling is here on the JPG channel, and we are seeing a perfect example of that in this match, folks. I mean, we had a hell of a match between Fatu and Mello. We had a hell of a match between Breaker and Sheamus. We're going 3 for 3 if you ask me right now. DIY Motor City Machine Guns are putting on a barn burner. And speaking of putting on something, Gargano puts on the Gargano escape on Sabin this time. Shelley makes the save, though. Wait a minute. Shelley's going for the kill. Shell shot connects to Gargano. And now Alex Shelley trying to go over the top rope to Ciampa, but just couldn't clear him in time. Sabin again over the ropes, goes for that tope. Missed wildly once again. You can see him holding the back of his head. Nice super kick, though. Trying to stay in control here. You know Sabin's head has to be ringing after getting hit by that one final beat on the apron. And now Sabin, look out here. Oh, a huge elevated back suplex from Chris Sabin. Puts Gargano into the corner. What has he got planned for Gargano? Hangs him in the Tree of Woe position. All that blood rushing to the head of Gargano. Sabin's going to make him think about it as he lines up. And there's a huge shotgun drop kick out of the Tree of Woe position. Chris Sabin not playing any games here tonight. Like I said, the Guns are prepared to leave it all on the line in the name of not only tag team wrestling, but also regaining those World Tag Team Championships that they haven't held ever since Survivor Series. Nice back suplex off the top rope. The upper back of Gargano certainly being a target in the earliest of last few minutes of this match. And now Gargano was trying to hit. Oh, he's trying to figure out what he wanted to do next, but a nice Hurricane Rana connects. That'll do the job just fine. And now Tommaso Ciampa lining Chris Sabin up here. What's he got planned here? Big knee strike right to the face. Shelley, I believe, is still wounded at bay, but no, actually, he just got right back on the ropes. I was going to say, this could have been DIY's opportunity to put this thing to bed. But when you got a team with the experience of Shelley and Sabin, it is almost impossible to actually put these guys away and walk away with a victory. They're just so intelligent when it comes to tag team wrestling. They're so experienced as well, but so is DIY, as I've already mentioned, as they meet in the middle with that super kick knee strike combination. And look at this, Gargano just put Chris Sabin off the apron, I should say. Now trips Shelley once again and is looking to humiliate his former mentor once again, this time in France, as Alex Shelley has no choice but to submit. My God, what a match. DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns both have nothing to be ashamed of. They can hang their hats on the fact that this was one hell of a tag team match, displaying tag team wrestling at its finest here on the JPG channel once more. As you can see, just the beautiful tag team tandem all throughout this match. The spot fest that we just witnessed here in Lyon, France. What a performance. But again, DIY sneaking away with that win. Again, it's Gargano humiliating Alex Shelley by making him submit. What is it going to take to get these titles off this brand new version of DIY? Almost, I wouldn't even want to say a desperate version, because they are the champions, but they were desperate heading into WrestleMania to secure those championships. You gotta wonder what they will do to keep those titles around their waist. And now Ciampa and Gargano. But wait a minute, let's cut back here. Wait, what the hell's going on? Commotions in the ring. That's Ciampa and Gargano getting attacked by what? That's Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly. Oh my! Look, end of Heartache. End of Heartache suplex in the backbreaker, and now a guillotine by O'Reilly. What the hell is Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly doing here? Clearly sending a message to the tag team division on Monday nights. What the hell does that say on Roderick Strong's shirt? We're trying to get a look at there. I think it says Undisputed. We know Adam Cole is a member of the Monday Night Raw roster. Did he look to be not alone this season? Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly just appeared here in France. And oh, wait a minute, they're not done just yet. Kyle O'Reilly is picking the bones of Sabin on the outside with an armbar. My God, what the hell? You gotta stop these guys. You gotta stop these guys. Roderick Strong now has Shelley on his shoulders. Fireman's carry position. What the hell is he thinking here? No. Right into the turnbuckle. What the hell is going on here with Strong and O'Reilly? Are they even affiliated with Cole is the question. Look out, total elimination. Strong and Kyle O'Reilly's finish plants Sabin. And now I don't think Roderick Strong's done there just yet. Look at these strikes right to the face of Chris Sabin. What the? Somebody's got to stop this. Where's our security? Strong and O'Reilly just laid out the tag team division of Monday Night Raw. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try and collect my thoughts for a moment, because we just witnessed the arrival, the return, if you will. Maybe I should say the debut of Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, at least to the main roster. You cast your minds back to the NXT days. We talk about the old glory, black and gold days of Ciampa and Gargano. Well, right alongside was a little group called the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and some guy with a last name Fish. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, O'Reilly and Strong just attacked the two top teams on Monday Night Raw. Two teams that just put it all on the line for the World Tag Team Championships. Strong and O'Reilly, is this the rebirth of the Undisputed Era? Are they affiliated with Adam Cole? I have no idea. These guys are two rogue assassins at this point. They're not signed. They're free agents. We don't know if they're going Monday Night Raw. We don't know if they're going to SmackDown. We don't even know if we're going to allow them back in a building after a heinous assault on 4 contracted employees. Strong and O'Reilly taking matters into their own hands, effectively setting a huge message to, well, I guess any tag team that wants to step to them here in WWE. But I mean, we're gonna have to follow that story very closely, because as far as I know right now, Strong and O'Reilly are not contracted. There's no ink on the paper for Strong and O'Reilly, and they just showed up out of absolutely nowhere at the end of that tag team match. Man, we're going to have to find out more on Monday Night Raw, I guess, or whenever we see them again. I don't know when that's going to be. But I'm going to have to try and switch gears, folks, because this is a very important match. This is a history-making match, because the winner of this match between Giulia and Tiffany Stratton will become the first ever Women's United States Champion. What an honor it would be for either of these women, and what a pedestal it would be for either of these women. Arguably more for Tiffany Stratton, because she's worked so hard in these last 2 years here on Universe Mode to build herself up to this championship contender, if you will. A woman that you can actually take seriously when we're talking about championship matches. And of course, she did just that. She built a name for herself off of that WrestleMania match alone against Rhea Ripley. I mean, I thought several times in that match Stratton had the match won, but you have to look towards the future, and the future could be the red, white, blue, and gold. We're about to find out, as that is a beautiful championship. Looks pretty much like the men's championship, just with the white stripe, but it's just that pop of white, as we see the white on Giulia as well, and a little bit of white on Tiffany Stratton, but the pop of white on the belt. White is always a nice color to look at when we're talking about gears and titles. It just looks clean. It looks pristine. I don't know if I could say too much about it, but it looks good. Aesthetically, that's a beautiful title right there, and it'll be beautiful around the waist of the beautiful madness herself, Giulia, or the Princess of Friday Nights and Tiffany Stratton, as we start this thing off quick in a hurry, as Giulia hits a huge knee strike right to the face. But there's Ciampa, or I'm still thinking of Ciampa with the discus lariats. Tiffany Stratton, I should say. There's Stratton with a huge knee strike right to the face, and then a nice discus lariat, Ciampa-esque, I guess, in a way, from that last match. And I look out, Tiffany Stratton going high risk, no reward early on. You cannot make mistakes like that against a very seasoned competitor like Giulia. We documented her time in Japan, what a force she was in Stardom. And now she's here on the main stage, here on the JPG channel, here in WWE, and effectively a SmackDown competitor. We saw the arrival of Giulia just this past Friday night, as she was able to defeat Kairi Sane. No, look at that combination. Exploder out of the corner. And what a match it was between two of Japan's finest. We're talking about women's talent, Giulia and Kairi Sane. But in the end, the Pirate Princess did fall short to the beautiful madness, Giulia. And that is how we got there from Giulia's side. Stratton, on the other hand, put away Fallon Henley after Henley put up a decent performance and a nice, very good effort out of Fallon Henley against Tiffany Stratton. But Stratton was able to withhold. And now we have this, folks, the finals of the Women's United States Championship Tournament. Giulia, Tiffany Stratton, nice arm captured suplex that time by Giulia. And Stratton has to get that shoulder off the mat once more. Oh, what a smack right to the face. Nothing pretty about that one. And now, wait a minute, Tiffany Stratton getting a little bit more technical here with a roll-up. Giulia gets a shoulder out at one, though. And now, wait a minute, snaps the shoulder almost out of place that time. And now immediately targets the arm like a shark to blood in the water. Giulia is such a dangerous individual. We saw just a glimpse of it in her match with Kairi Sane. Oh, look at this. Nice elbow strike by Tiffany Stratton here. As now she goes off the ropes and it connects this time. A springboard swanton hits flush. Giulia, though, letting her know there's a lot more left in the tank. I'm very surprised of how aggressive Tiffany Stratton has made her offense in this match, but when I'm sure she's heard of strong style down there in Japan. Of course, now that we have Shinsuke Nakamura and Asuka and Io Sky, all those talents that made strong style famous, they're all here in WWE now, including Giulia and Kairi Sane, of course. And Tiffany Stratton knew exactly what to expect in a fight with Giulia. She knew she was going to be throwing some bows. And indeed, she has been. She's connected with a few forearms in this one, but it's those knee strikes you really got to watch out for. Giulia. Oh, and there's a huge paintbrush into the corner from the boot. Oh, and with a headbutt. Also, that head of Giulia that she loves to use as a weapon just could do the most damage that any person could ever receive. And now Tiffany Stratton finds herself on the outside. Giulia making a little bit of a mistake there. Stratton looks to capitalize. Look at this. A cartwheel into an Alabama slam. Can't say I've ever seen that one. Certainly innovative is Tiffany Stratton. And we saw her dip into her bag deep at WrestleMania against the Eradicator, against Mommy Rhea Ripley, and it still wasn't enough to put Rhea away. So, she can't just sit here second guessing herself. She's got to figure out some new stuff to bring out here. Maybe you never know what that move might be. Not only that takes you to the top of the WWE and makes you the successful superstars like they have been in the past, but also puts away your opponent and effectively makes her the Women's United States Champion. STF submission by Giulia. Stratton, though, able to escape momentarily. And now Tiffany Stratton and Giulia locking up in the center ring once again. Nice! Huge takeover power slam. And now Tiffany Stratton going to show a little bit off her athleticism with a huge standing moonsault. Beautifully executed. Giulia could be in trouble. Again, a shoulder at one. I don't think I've seen Giulia's shoulders stay on the mat for longer than 1.5 seconds in this match. She certainly has a point to prove. As I was saying, this is her second match here in WWE. And hanging Giulia out to dry is the center of the universe. And a kick right to the leg again. We've seen Giulia work over the arms of Tiffany Stratton. Maybe Tiffany Stratton found an opening, trying to work over those legs of Giulia. Huge splash out of the corner, almost Sting-esque from Stratton. Paying homage to another former United States champion back in WCW. Of course, the Stinger. Oh my goodness, what a stomp. A huge double foot stomp to Giulia. That could be it, but Giulia again refuses to even give Tiffany Stratton the satisfaction of knowing she can get her shoulders down to a 2 count. And look at the strength of Tiffany Stratton muscling her up. Almost a follow-away slam-esque Samoan drop that time from Stratton. Everything's beautifully executed by Stratton here, and now she's working over the leg once again. This is something we don't really see too much out of Tiffany Stratton, and that is being not only a technician-based wrestler, but also a strategist. As normally she likes to stick to her guns, not literally, but figuratively. And now, oh my goodness gracious, went for a suicide dive. My God, a little too comfortable that time. Giulia made her pay for it. And now Tiffany Stratton is trying to keep her bearings about her as she targets Giulia into the barricade that time. Like I said, some very effective offense from Tiffany Stratton here tonight, but Giulia might have caught her traps the arm. Look out, a spinning Michinoku driver on the floor. We saw Giulia hit... Oh, no, wait a minute. No. Kamigoye knee strike. I was going to say we saw Giulia hit that spinning Michinoku arm trap driver to Kairi Sane on Friday nights, and that Kamigoye knee strike, of course, earned Giulia this opportunity. Some would say if Tiffany Stratton was in that ring, the bell would have already rang. But Giulia is trying to, I guess, bide her time a little bit. I'm not sure what the plan is. I'm not going to question a woman that could probably kick my head off or elbow my jaw loose. That's Giulia for you. And she just hit another elbow right to the face of Tiffany Stratton. And now it's Stratton trying to fight back here. T-Rex drop kick from the center of the universe. And now Tiffany Stratton scales to the top of the apron here. What is she going for? Look out here. Oh my God. Give it a 10. What a huge springboard moonsault to the floor, wiping out Giulia. Stratton leaving it all out on the line here in France, as every superstar on the card has so far in this one. We are just riding the oh no, look at this nice reversal by Giulia. I was going to say we are riding the hot trails of WrestleMania. What an incredibly exciting show that was. This is just as exciting, if you ask me. Fresh matchups like this, and now look at this. This is incredible. We have seen so many different pin attempts from those two in the last 15 seconds. Referee Jessica Carr trying to keep her head on a swivel in this match. Nice neck breaker, averting a German suplex. We know Giulia loves to dump her opponents on her heads as well with German suplexes. And now Stratton going for the power aspects of this match, but Giulia's having that scouted here. And now Giulia, a little bit of a fight for power here. Oh, what the hell? A huge tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Stratton's trying to capitalize, but Giulia, nice elbow to the midsection. And now, wait a minute, Giulia traps the arm again. DDT again, that arm suffering some more damage. The arm was worked on early on in the match and has slowly been incorporated to a lot of the moves that Giulia's been hitting on Tiffany Stratton, almost effectively hitting two birds at one stone. Whether she's doing a suplex, she's got the arm trapped. If she's doing a Michinoku driver, she's got the arm trapped. Or if she's doing a DDT like we just saw, she has the arm trapped. And there's an arm move for you from Stratton. She might have just twisted that arm out of the socket of Giulia this time. As now, wait a minute, Tiffany Stratton again. Nice standing moonsault, the second one in this match. Stratton is slowly starting to feel herself. She scales the top rope here. Look out, goes for a swanton. Eat your heart out, Jeff Hardy, but no water in the pool. And now, wait a minute, Giulia's going to make her pay for it. The Northern Lights bomb. The Northern Lights bomb connects to Tiffany Stratton for the first ever United States Women's Championship. But no, Tiffany Stratton gets the shoulder out. We are still in on this one. What a match these two women are having. I mean, think about the stakes here. Like I said, a history-making moment for whoever walks out with their hand raised in victory, the very first ever Women's United States Champion. And I'm happy to announce that with the new titles being announced in the women's division, don't stop there, because on the Raw side, we're going to have the Women's Intercontinental Championship introduced, with the winners of those qualifiers and the tournaments meeting at our next pay-per-view, Money in the Bank. What a match that should be, and what a competition that should be, and what a moonsault that was. The prettiest moonsault ever. Connects. This is it. No, Giulia gets the shoulder out. Man, this is what we can expect from the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament. I don't know what to say. We are in for a treat with these women, as now Tiffany Stratton and Giulia fighting to the death at this point, just throwing some nasty elbows right to the jaw. And Giulia takes those and tries to strike back with her own. I can't believe she just took all those elbows right to the face and then said, what else you got? if she would have hit with that elbow that she was going for, I don't know, man. Tiffany Stratton would have been seeing stars and not the ones that she wants to be seeing. And now look at this. Oh, my God, a Falcon Arrow off the top rope. A Falcon Arrow off the top rope. Is there anything these women won't do to put each other away? I'll tell you the answer to that. There's not, because now a huge submission attempt by Giulia. The arms were worked over earlier, as previously mentioned, on Tiffany Stratton. She just has to fight through the pain. She has to realize that she cannot keep losing these big match scenarios. She can't keep losing championship opportunities, because then they're not going to be awarded to her in the future. And now Tiffany Stratton goes for the legs, but Giulia pushes her off. This is just pure grit out of Tiffany Stratton, and this is just pure dominance out of Giulia. Able to take everything Tiffany Stratton has been thrown at her, but this could be it right now. Nice armbar cinched in, but no, Giulia. Oh, look at that reversal. Twists her out. When have you ever seen a competitor like Giulia? She is one of a kind for sure. Tiffany Stratton, like, literally just trying to do any and everything to keep Giulia. Maybe just a waiver. Oh, what the hell? Another discus lariat. Another discus lariat by Stratton. Connects. Goes for the cover again. Giulia gets the shoulder out. Has to be a lot of frustration on Stratton's end. There's now Tiffany Stratton scales the top rope here. Look out here. Big swanton bomb connects this time. She looked for it earlier. Did not get it before. Got all of it this time. Now Giulia could be in a world of trouble as Tiffany Stratton grabs a hold of the knee, wrenching at the knee. Stratton prepared to do any and everything to walk away as the first ever Women's United States Champion, and that might be the killer right there. The second PME. No, Giulia gets the shoulder out again. My God, this is absolutely incredible. This is women's wrestling. This is exactly why we are introducing mid-card championships to the women's division. Now Giulia, I think she just busted Stratton open with that knee strike, and now she's wrenching at the arm once again. Wrenching at the arm once again of Tiffany Stratton. And oh no, Giulia is poised on the top rope. Double foot stomp, driving right through the heart of the center of the universe. And oh no, went for the cover, but Stratton gets the shoulder out again. Just as much as Giulia has been taking out of Tiffany Stratton, you could say the same as Stratton has been taking from Giulia's offense. And I would argue Giulia's offense is a lot more grounded and hard, like striking and just absolutely impactful stuff out of Giulia. And Stratton has taken it and been able to dish it back out. I'll give her credit when credit is due. That is for sure. And I look at this, Giulia again with a boot scrape right to the face, and then covers up with a big boot into the corner. Stratton could be dazed and confused. Giulia's not waiting around to find out if she is or not. She has Stratton on the top rope once again before she hit a Falcon Arrow off the top rope. What is Giulia planning here? Has her up for a double underhook suplex off the top. That's it. There's no way in hell Stratton kicks out. 1, 2, new champ. No, Stratton kicked out again. What is it going to take? I'll tell you exactly what it's going to take. Giulia's lining her up. This is how she put Kairi Sane away. That devastating knee strike after the double underhook off the top. And yeah, I wouldn't kick out either. Giulia is your first ever Women's United States Champion. But you could argue either of these women deserve that title after this performance. What a 4-match streak we are on here on the Backlash PLE. We are lining up for the earliest PLE of the year that we've ever had here on the JPG channel. Every single performance has been top tier, if I can be biased for a second. Giulia and Stratton just left it all out there on the line. I thought the Northern Lights bomb like 15 minutes into this thing was going to be it. Stratton hit a PME out of one corner. Wasn't enough. And then moments later, she would hit another one after successfully finally hitting the Swanton. That also was not enough. Giulia, at the end of the day, was able to overcome a very, very game Tiffany Stratton, a woman that took everything that Giulia had. And at the end of the night, it was one final knee strike that really settled everything in. And now, well, there you have it. She wore white for a reason. The very first ever women's United States champion, Giulia, has been crowned here in Lyon, France. Congratulations to our brand new women's United States champion, the beautiful madness herself. I cannot wait to see what her reign looks like.